I'm going to preview the number 10 Baylor at number 5 Texas women's basketball game. And first of all, I don't know if Asia Blackwell is even going to play in this game. She missed the last two games due to a boot on her foot. I don't know if it was like a minor thing, just like a stress fracture, like just precautionary, or is it serious? And I'm going to mention this for two on Texas. They have two players, and one of them missed the last two games, and the other one just missed last game. And I'm going to go over the stats now for Texas here. And the first player to note has missed the last two games due to a hip injury, but I'm not so sure about this game coming up. And that's Taylor Jones, number 44, the leading scorer. 6'4" forward. That's a senior. 16.2 points per game, 0 for 1 on threes, 34 for 52 on free throws. 7.4 rebounds per game, 1.3 steals per game, 1.5 blocks per game, 1.3 turns per game, 2.4 fouls per game. What just occurred recently was an injury to Rory Harmon. She did not play. She was walking with a limp. Number 3, 5'6" guard, that's a junior, 14.1 points per game, 7 for 22 on threes, 24 for 36 on free throws, 5.6 rebounds per game, 7.8 assists per game, 1.2 turns per game, 3.1 steals per game, 1 foul per game. And apparently something must have happened in warm-ups, according to Jim Verterno from the AP, and that he covers Texas on. And she was like late scratch. And she was seen limping around and appeared to be wearing a wrap or a brace around her right knee under her sweatpants. So, I am not so sure of the extent. And I've been waiting around most of today, and I'm pre-recording this, and I waited up to this point just to see if there is an update that Coach Vic Schaefer would say. And he said he would. In a press conference last night, I read on the internet, he decided, nah. Clearly. I think this is more of gamesmanship. So, I am not so sure if she's going to even play. Don't be shocked if one or both of these top two players play in this game. I'm not. Don't be surprised in the slightest. Or neither does play, or both do. Not just one plays, or and the other doesn't, or both, or even neither. Don't be surprised by anything about these two top players. Okay, now the rest of the players are now not questionable at all. In all this is Madison Booker, number 25, a 6'1" forward. That's a freshman. 11.7 points per game, 8 for 30 on threes, 24 for 32 on free throws, 4.3 rebounds per game, 4.2 assists per game, 1.8 turnovers per game, 1.2 steals per game, 2.5 fouls per game. And here's the catch. If Rory Harmon's not going to play, she's going to play point guard, it seems, from what I've seen. She led the team in assists last game, and she was like the primary ball handler, so I'm going to just mention that up front. And there's Shaylee Gonzalez, number 2, 5'10" guard. It's a senior. 10.5 points per game, 23 for 48 on threes, 11 for 12 on free throws, 2.7 rebounds per game, 1 turnover per game, 1.5 steals per game, 1.3 fouls per game. Diana Gaston, number 5, 6'2" forward. That's a senior. 9.3 points per game, 7 for 10 on free throws, 4.5 rebounds per game, 1 turnover per game, 0.8 blocks per game, 0.8 steals per game, 1.8 fouls per game. Amina Muhammad, number 14, 6'4" forward. That's a sophomore. 8.9 points per game, 26 for 43 on free throws, 5.6 rebounds per game, 1.2 turnovers per game, 1.4 steals per game, 2.5 fouls per game. That is Katisha Faye, or Faye, Faye. I apologize if I mispronounce. Number 20, 6'4" forward. That's a senior. 7.7 points per game. 26 for 36 on free throws. 4.9 rebounds per game, 0.9 turnovers per game, 1.3 steals per game, 0.9 blocks per game, 1.3 fouls per game. Then there's Shai Hall, or Holle, or Holly, or I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Hall, but I could be wrong. I apologize in advance. Number 10, 6-foot guard, that's a senior. 7.1 points per game, 9 for 28 on threes. 7 for 15 on free throws. 2.2 rebounds per game, 1.5 fouls per game. 2.1 assists per game, 1.3 turnovers per game. And she did start, by the way. So, just making that note. Then there's Aaliyah Moore, number 21, 6'1" forward, that's a junior. 7 points per game, 2 for 3 on threes, 14 for 22 on free throws, 3.6 rebounds per game, 2 turnovers per game, 0.9 steals per game, and 2.5 fouls per game. Now, this next player is so hard to pronounce. I'm going to just spell it here. Ndjakelenga. That's the first name. The last name, Mwenetanda. Number 32, 6'2" guard. That's a sophomore. 6.9 points per game. 1 for 3 on threes. 17 for 24 on free throws. 2.6 rebounds per game. 1.4 turnovers per game. 0.6 steals per game. 1.5 fouls per game. I'm not going to mention this player right here. She only played one game in Sarah Graves in her stats. I wouldn't worry about her. I mean, to be honest, and there's Gisela Maul, Maul, number 21. 5'11" guard, it's a freshman. 4.1 points per game, 11 for 24 on threes. 4 for 7 on free throws. 2.1 assists per game, 1.1 turnovers per game, 0.7 fouls per game. Jordana Cordio, number 13, 6'1" guard. That's a sophomore. 2.6 points per game, 5 for 8 on threes, 1 for 2 on free throws, 0.7 fouls per game. And it's Tiana Haran, which I don't know if all the players I'm going to mention here that have played this year. Haran, number 8, 6'4" center. That's a freshman. 1.6 points per game, 2 for 4 on free throws. I am not so sure if all those players are going to play like I listed. In particular, the top 2 and all this. So, I'm going to say this up front. Defensively, you got to limit the shooters as much as possible. I know they don't have a lot of them. It's just, don't want to give them easy looks. Or don't give them easy looks in general. You got to hit the glass. You got to rebound the ball. I mean, I know Texas might have a little bit more size, but I think it does help that Baylor has played some taller teams in the past. They even out-rebounded an Oregon team that was taller than them. I'm just telling the truth. And Miami, Florida was running 6'4" forwards in there / centers. So they're similar in that way. Don't give them any clean looks in general. Don't give them straight line drives. Make them turn the ball over. Obviously, I know what Texas is probably going to more go inside and a dribble drive, and obviously you need to contain their best players and get them uncomfortable on offense and disrupt the flow of the game. I mean, disrupt them a little bit. I mean, and you don't want Texas to live at the foul line either. That's the thing. Points in transition, yeah, you don't want to do that, or even points on turnovers as much as possible. As well as second chance points. I'm just telling the truth about that. Of course, across the board, limit your foul trouble. And I don't know what the officiating is going to be like. So, we know they can be very inconsistent in officiating games here. You just got to play through it. Even if you don't get a call your way. Or a no call at that, and even though it's a clear and obvious foul, you got to play through it. You got to go out there and leave no doubt and make your shots regardless. And you got to out-hustle Texas. I'm just telling you that right now, and you got to get the ball. I mean, on the ground, even not just rebounds, but on the ground. Now, offensively, you got to take care of the ball and get some points out turnovers. And sometimes your best offenses comes from your defense, so you got to take advantage of that. Of course, you need like some paint touches, like even if it's just like a drive, then a kick, or a straight up drive, and they shoot it. You shoot the ball. I mean, I'm just telling you the truth. You got to play your game offensively. I mean, that's the truth, and you got to make adjustments on the fly in both offense and defense. I mean, that's the truth. You got to make your free throws count. You got to make your threes count. Obviously, I mean, if you can in this game, and this is your first game back from the break, by the way, and I know Texas played a game before you, so I'm just pointing that out. I mean, if you want to check that game out, you'll know why. I mean, that's the truth. You gotta not have like illegal screens or anything like that, and you gotta play through contacting, and you gotta be ball tough. I mean, and be prepared for them to do the press at times, because I know Vic Schaefer in the past at others like Mississippi State, and even at Texas some, he has used the press. You gotta have good press break. I mean, you guys stay calm and cool, collected on both. Of course, you don't want like technical fouls or anything like that. I don't know, or a flagrant 1, or flagrant 2, which I know the flagrant 1 or flagrant 2 or is not what you exactly want to do. You're trying to do. It's just I'm just making a point. I mean, that's true. Then you gotta make open shots count, no matter where it is on court. You gotta get some not only points off turnovers, but points in the paint, even if it's just like a paint touch or something like a drive or even straight up post up. You gotta get some second chance points, because in games like this, second chance points do make a difference. And making your free throws, like I said earlier, makes a difference. When you make free throws, it's pretty hard to lose games, and you gotta take care of the ball and make Texas turn the ball over a bunch and fluster that freshman and Madison Booker if you can. If she's the point guard in the game right here. And I'm sure Nikki Collin and staff already know that Taylor Jones has missed the last 2 games. And we're not so sure if she's going to play or not with the hip injury. And that is a huge player. I'm not just talking about in terms of size either. You got to look at the stats and what she's done. And same thing goes for Rory Harmon. And I think it's more gamesmanship on Rory Harmon than Taylor Jones. And Taylor Jones, she's missed a lot. It's more like he said something about it, but didn't say it prior to this past game. And he didn't say it after the game, last night's game for Texas. So either on what's going to really happen. So I'm just going to point this up front. I am not so sure if they're going to play or not, those 2 players. And in a game like this, you need Sarah Andrews to step up. Jada Walker got to step up. Yaya Felder off the bench, and maybe she's going to start in place of Asia Blackwell if she doesn't play, or either that or Bella Fauneroy. And we know Dariana Page Byers missed 1 game, the Providence game, due to her nose injury, but she played with a mask last game, so she's got to step up. Dre Edwards needs to step up. I mean, and Jen Van Geinbeek, if you need like the relief on that, and Yaya Felder, like I said, Madison Bartley needs to step up with that experience. At 6'3", have a little bit of size in there to just try to help. You got to stand your ground and stay tough, both offense and defense. I mean, that's the truth. You got to have maybe, I don't know about Letty Vasconcelos, the 6'7" freshman's going to play. I don't even know if she's going to even play. So if she does, she does. Danae Fritz, if she plays, she just needs to fill her role. And and everything. I don't want to just go on tangent on certain players either. I'm being realistic. I don't know about Letty playing because she is a freshman and she's like the third string center, it seems like. But she has size, but then again, who knows? And the same thing goes for. We know that Kyla hasn't played in a while, so I don't know. I wouldn't count on her playing. And obviously, Kyrie Ferrer, if she has to do like a special defense thing, maybe. I don't know. But you get the whole point. You just got to stay composed. And this is the last time that Baylor will play Texas in Austin as conference foes in the second last meeting in the regular season as conference foes. Because who knows about the Big 12 tournament down the line. But I'm not so worried about down the line. I'm more worried about this game. And this is a game where both of these teams are undefeated. So it's huge. Not just for conference for undefeated standpoint, but conference and ranking, especially if this is a top 10 game here. Not just in terms of the Big 12, but nationally. It's a top 10 matchup. So I would also suggest on defense, you got to take the best players away. And if they like going a certain direction, don't let them go that direction. I mean, don't give them anything. Nothing simple. And this is as of this recording right here on Rory Foreman. I do not know what the extent is at this time. I just know she has a limp. She was walking with a limp. And just like that report I said earlier, something happened to her and shoot around last night, and she was wearing a wrap or a brace around her right knee, under her sweatpants. So we're gonna have to wait and see. And same thing goes for Asia Blackwell. If Asia Blackwell gets to play for Baylor, she needs to just do her role and step up. Whether that's off the bench because she's not healthy, or as a starter because she's 100% back. We're going to have to wait and see about these injuries on both sides here, but obviously you don't want to lose your composure in a heated rival like this. You just got to go out there, go to Austin, and go to work. And you have no pressure on you whatsoever. Texas is hosting the game. They're a higher ranked team. Be the aggressor. Be aggressive, both offense and defense, of course, to a certain point of not fouling. And you know the block charge rule. It would be nice to get some blocks. You got to have some steals. You got to block some shots if you can. But don't let Texas block you as much. I'm just telling you. And don't let Texas steal the ball a lot. So, if you're going to have a turnover, I'd rather have it be dead ball than a live ball turnover. But still, you don't want a lot of turnovers in this game here. We're gonna find out real quick about these two teams coming up, and UConn's best opponent up to this point. UConn is the best opponent that Texas has played up to this point, but UConn is not as good as in the past. Obviously, they're number 15, and Baylor's best opponent is Utah. And if you want to go with second best, Miami, Florida, to an extent. So, yeah, and at least Baylor has played a road game this year, which is helpful. And essentially, that South Florida game was a road game anyway because it was closer to South Florida. But it's good to have some games not away from home. And especially out of the state of Texas, too, because I know they play SMU. That is helpful to know. And, of course, like I said, you got to make adjustments on the fly. both on offense and defense, and you gotta execute your plays both offensively and defensively, and rebound the ball. I mean, if when you rebound the opponent, it's pretty hard to lose. I mean, you gotta make your shots count, and and try to get the cleanest looks as possible. If you, of course, you don't want to be passive, but you know. So, anyways, I apologize for this ramble up to at this point here, but I'm emphasizing this game because it's a top 10 showdown. It's massive for the conference. It's massive for the national scale. So, anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later. On the road to 600 subscribers, scores ultimate goal is 1,000 more. So, make money off this. Of course, liking the video, commenting the video really helps the YouTube algorithm so more people can see it. Sharing the video does help as well so more people can watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It's free. Hit the notification bell as well. And I also don't know if there's any other players for Baylor that are hurt going into this game, so or potentially or sickness or anything like that. So because there's no press conference still or that I've seen by Nikki Collin up to this point. So just making a point right there.